Right here, I was playing against Grandmaster Alonzo Zapata, a Colombian legend who has taken down Anand, yes, world champion Anand, in 6 moves in a classical game. This was the final round, the 6th round of the Charlotte Open Blitz. And here you can see we're right into it. He goes into a Dutch. It's an opening I like to make jokes about, but I do understand it has some sharpness. Not a terrible blitz opening by any means. I play this double fianchetto line. Now this was a line taught to me many years ago by a coach that I was working with, and the idea is you wait for c4 because if you try and play b3 too early, or you're a little bit too slow with it, problems with c5. But now everything's taken care of. The bishop's on b2, queen c2, and now I look to play some sort of e4 idea is typically what I'm going for. He goes for queen e8, trying to push forward that e5 move. Now, I'm not worried. I have my idea. I'm going to make it happen. Knight d2, take on e5, of course. Quickly, confidently, maybe more confidently than I actually am. But it's blitz. You got to be fast. You got to be time effective. And here, e4. Definitely do not want to allow him to push e4 himself. Now, this was the first moment I feel like I really got him and got him to slow down. He's trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. And I was feeling pretty good at this point. And then he plays this knight c5, which surprised me on how annoying it was. You'll see I spend a decent amount of time. This is my first really good think of the game. And just trying to figure out, okay, I can take on f5, I can take on e5 with the knight, with the bishop. Maybe I could play some sort of rook e1. I was also eyeing bishop a3, so basically everything. I am considering so many moves in the short period that I can, and taking it in because I know, hey, he's about to take my stuff. He's potentially about to open up his position if I'm not careful, so let me take my time. Let me think through this moment and get ready to either attack in the best way I can or limit his play. That's my thinking face right there. Not moving too much. Finally, knight takes e5. With all the options, this one was the one I liked the best because of what we'll see here soon. He takes on e4. It's kind of what I expected. And just double checking, making sure I take back on e4. I want to be a bit careful of him maybe playing f takes e4. I wasn't terribly worried about it. I thought I had a good resource in maybe playing b4 there, but this was the setup that I was looking to get, f4, and it just feels very, very solid for me. I have my 2 bishops on that in that fianchetto setup now, looking very nice. My knight's kind of up in there and being just super solid with f4, and of course my knight is more solid because I have the better defenders on my knight and I have more attackers on his knight. Now he also is trying to think exactly what to do. He has to be a little bit careful and decides to go queen e7. I had already planned beforehand that I wasn't going to take on e4. I wasn't looking to give up my light squared bishop and open up those squares for his bishop, even though I would be winning a pawn. And I bring the rook from a to e1 because I want to keep f2 covered. Queen c5, king h1. Again, that rook on f1 covers f2. Already planned that. And here was a difficult position because I was feeling very good. I felt like I had gotten everything I possibly could have wanted out of this opening, but the next step was a bit unclear to me. Now, you see a miss there with queen c1. I liked the idea of bishop a3, but bringing that knight back had some venom a few times. I think I really underestimated it. Bishop a3, and here I do think I went a little bit wrong. I went for b4. I thought trying to go for b5 could be quite dangerous. This was another good opportunity for knight d3 here, but I was locked into my breakthrough idea. I played b4, I was thinking about b5. I'm just double checking because that is giving up a pawn, but I'm like, I think I'm only giving up the pawn temporarily. So opening up that bishop on g2 makes a lot of sense. And here we see it, b5, knight d3. Just a reminder, but that's okay. I was still feeling pretty happy with this. My bishop on a3 is open. My bishop on g2 is open. And my idea outside of opening up my bishop, we'll see in a second here. Pawn takes, pawn takes. He just double checks. It's like, oh, I can take a pawn. He's going to. Grandmasters, we like taking pawns. And queen c7, that's the other idea. To this pawn sacrifice, my queen gets into the game. I'm looking for queen f7, and it felt very, very dangerous. Plays bishop e6. Now, originally I was thinking about playing bishop takes b7 here, but I started to get concerned about bishop d5 check, trading the bishop, and then my king feels a bit more open than I would like. So I switched, played rook b1, definitely eyeing rook takes b7. That's the goal. Rook takes, put pressure on g7. I'm hoping I can find a tactic. I haven't seen any tactic here yet. I know I can play rook takes b7, but I'm hoping for it. He pauses. He thinks he's trying to take it in, find a good place for his queen. He goes queen a6. Again, not going to be tempted by bishop takes b7, that bishop d5. Just continually annoying. I keep with my plan, rook takes b7. And he defends. And here I start looking. I had been looking up to this point, but I really am trying to find any tactics, any ideas. Eyeing it, looking at different moves. I can't find it and decide to go queen d6. I needed to protect the bishop on a3, and there's the big blunder. He realized it immediately too. Rook d8. Here I was just trying to calm it down with queen d6, but queen d6, the biggest threat. We've all been there, particularly in Blitz. He just has a space out moment, and you can see a feeling that's all too relatable written across this face. Okay, still respectable. He stays, sets up his pieces, but he's ready to be out of there, and victory achieved. Not the best way to win, but hey, I'll take those wins any day.